Good evening and welcome to AAJA's 2020 Awards and Holiday Celebration. Normally, we'd be celebrating our awards ceremony during the convention gala and all of you would be itching for karaoke to start. We've all had to adjust to this virtual world, and I miss being able to get together with all of you in person. But I'm still thankful to be celebrating with you virtually, and seeing you in the chat box already gets me really excited that we're able to have this event tonight. But it's been a really difficult year. Many in our AAJA family have lost loved ones and professional opportunities. But it was also a year when we really saw our AAJA community come together in such a beautiful, meaningful, and classically AAJA way. And I'm happy to share that AAJA is financially and organizationally strong. As of today, we have 1,743 members across the country and in Asia. Tonight, we're going to announce two sets of awards. First, we will present our Excellence in Journalism Awards to recognize and amplify the great work by our colleagues in the industry. And second, our Senior Vice President, Nicole Dunca, will join me to announce our Member Awards to recognize and honor the leadership of our members. First, I really want to thank my fellow board members for taking time to deliberate on our Member Awards. And I especially want to thank our outgoing national officers, VP of Finance Ted Han and VP of Civic Engagement PSR Carr, for their leadership and their friendship. I will really miss working with you. And thank you to our rock star Executive Director, Naomi Takuyan Underwood, and our national staff. Under Naomi's leadership, our staff have expertly navigated and adjusted to this extremely challenging year, and they did it with so much creativity and passion. Lastly, thank you to the judges who lent their insight and expertise to selecting the Journalism Excellence Award winners. Thank you to Ben Martinstein, Chris Kiskeho, Julia M. Chan, Samantha Chang, Sean Chitness, Josh Dulac, Esther Gim, Aurelis Hernandez, Kelly Huang, Carolyn Hong, Alyssa Jong Perry, Neil Justin, Dolly Lee, Stephanie Lin, Marion Liu, Daryl Miho, Phil Nacionales, Thomas Oide, Alan Peng, and Lee Uehara. We're so excited to launch a new awards website, which is already live for you to scroll through during this event and afterward. Please go to and bookmark awards.aaja.org. There you will find much more detail about each and every one of our awards winners tonight, as well as a record of all of our past member award recipients. This is just one of the many ways we're ramping up to celebrate AAJA's 40th anniversary next year. We will launch an oral history project, as well as our very own Hall of Fame. As we look to the future and uplift our emerging leaders, we want to take stock of our history, to learn from the generations of AAPI journalists who have carved new paths for all of us, and whose work we must continue and build upon. If you would like to support AAJA's mission, please join or renew your membership or donate at aaja.org/donate. And with that, I'm so excited to close out this year with this awesome celebration. And now I'm going to turn it over to Joey Chen and Pablo Iglesias, who will be co-presenting this year's Journalism Excellence Awards.
Well, hello to all of our AAJA family, wherever you are. I'm Joey Chen in Washington, D.C.
And I'm Pablo Iglesias in Peoria, Illinois, and we look at the calendar, and I believe it's about March 273rd, but don't worry, we are coming up towards the end of this year that is 2020. We are also thrilled to announce the winners of this year's AAJA Journalism Excellence Awards. Now, please feel free to congratulate this year's awardees and express your hashtag AAJA kudos in the chat, wherever you're tuning in.
And whatever you do, please be loud in your appreciation for all these terrific entries and winners that we have for you in this program tonight.
Yes, this is definitely the time where we suggest making sure that you're not on mute tonight here on Zoom. So please feel free, show some love to the AAJA fam, and let's get into this. We start off the awards for our student journalism category, recognizing exemplary pieces by young journalists. In student journalism, excellence in AAPI issues coverage, this year's award goes to Kiran Misra for her piece, Did They Send Us Here to Die? Housing Rights at Crossroads in India's Capital, published in the Pulitzer Center. Through snapshots of women whose lives were suddenly uprooted when they were evicted from their homes, Misra examines New Delhi's resettlement policy. The judges commended it for its compassionate reporting and also noted that Misra is clearly culturally attuned to the nuances of the society featured in the story. The Student Journalism Award for general coverage goes to Jack Harris at the Los Angeles Times for his feature piece, Young, Small, but Mighty. Skateboarder Sky Brown shreds path towards the Olympics. How about that? The judges called it a shining example of how to approach a feature and noted that even if the audience is not familiar with the world of skateboarding, the details take them there. All right, well, sending it on over the half pipe. Joey, who we got up next?
Well, Pablo, next we have our awards for written journalism. Now, this year's winner of the Written Journalism Award, AAPI coverage, is Jaweed Kaleem of the Los Angeles Times. His piece, Sikh Drivers Are Transforming U.S. Trucking, is just full of detail, laced throughout with data and photographs, and it even included a short documentary. Kaleem provides a very intimate look at the community of Sikh immigrants taking on jobs in one of America's biggest and right now most important industries. The judges found the details to be incredibly thoughtful in this piece and noted really the expert way statistics are woven in throughout the story without taking away from the driver's journey. Excellent work on that. In the general excellence category, we have a tie this year. The award is shared by Erika Fry for her story in Fortune magazine, Epidemic of Fear, how the trouble-ridden debut of a breakthrough vaccine sparked a panic. In this piece, Fry explores the societal response around a vaccine for dengue fever that debuted in the Philippines in 2019. So we're not talking about that vaccine, but the judges did note this piece's timeliness, calling it truly tragic and the very dictionary definition of a cautionary tale. Now, again, this award for general excellence is shared by Bloomberg's Peter Waldman and his piece, As China Anxiety Rises in US, Fears of New Red Scare Emerge. This document-driven piece breaks down the intricate issue of China's role in acquiring intellectual property and how it may fuel paranoias that are implicitly entangled with racism. Judges were impressed by Waldman's resourcefulness in piecing together the story through documents, interviews, and records that were retrieved via FOIA requests, and noted the nuance in the writing allows readers to form their own opinions. Very important, Pablo.
Absolutely. And we talk about, too, in journalism that we want to be active listeners. Well, we move on to the listening category with radio and audio journalism. This year's winner in AAPI Excellence for radio and audio is Christine Nguyen for audio piece for KALW, Vietnamese Immigrants Care for Parents with Dementia Amidst the Stigma. Infused with personal experience and heartfelt storytelling, Nguyen's audio reporting explores the stigma surrounding dementia and the disproportional impact it has on Asian communities. Judges say that Nguyen's piece deftly avoids turning the subject and viewer relationship into one that is patronizing or dramatic, and that it holds its gravitas on multiple listens. Now for the winner of the General Excellence Award in Radio Audio is the team at Reveal News with reporting by Sindhuja Rangarajan and Teresa Katsarilis and James West for their radio documentary piece, Building a Wall Out of Red Tape. In it, Sindhuja shares her investigation of Trump's immigration policies. It is a mix of on-the-ground reporting, personal storytelling, and original data collection and analysis. Judges remark that the piece is well-researched and well-produced and is tackled in a way that provides for a personal connection to the Asian American audiences.
That's terrific, Pablo. The award for Journalism Excellence in TV Online Award, AAPI issue, goes to Arnie Heikkila for his piece, Hiding in Plain Sight, for you today. Now, this investigative piece examines how the human trafficking epidemic has continued to grow in the United States. Through raw footage, this piece shows the insidious ways this issue persists. Despite lots of advocacy and government agencies' involvement, the judges praise the use of visuals and the unique approach to storytelling. We congratulate Arnie on all of that. The award for General Excellence in TV Online Journalism goes to Michael Yam with From Duck to Hero, which was broadcast on the Pac-12 networks. This was really a moving segment, which highlighted the heroic act of former Oregon Duck wide receiver Keenan Lowe during an active shooter incident at Parkrose High School in May of 2019. In looking at this piece, the judges said that the story is very well told, well researched, and compelling. great story.
Joey, the list just keeps going on and on, some phenomenal stories. And we move on now to the Award for Excellence in Multimedia in the category of AAPI Issues. And that goes to the team behind Honolulu Magazine featuring Soldier On, which documents the story of 17 Nisei soldiers in the aftermath of World War II. Writer Jana Omaye and photographer Aaron K. Yoshino spent months talking to the veterans' families and capturing them in photographs and audio clips, which were then thoughtfully laid out by the Honolulu art director, Janelle Kalave Ching, and placed into interactive web sections by Katie Kenny. Judges applauded the Honolulu team for taking on such a monumental task and praised the quality of the short vignettes and portrait photography in this project. The story of Japanese American soldiers' heroic role in World War II is one we must honor as best as we can while they and their families are still with us. And now we move on to the General Excellence in Multimedia Journalism. That award goes to the Bloomberg team behind multi-part project Hong Kong on Edge, which follows the unrest that erupted in Hong Kong. From the protests to the influence of money and property tycoons to even entertaining the possibility of the city's fall, the coverage culminates in a Bloomberg television special report that explores the factors that fueled the city's ongoing turmoil. Judges praised this project for being a true deep dive into what's going on in Hong Kong through an excellent use of storytelling mediums. Joey, how about that?
Terrific, Pablo. Finally, we are honored to present the winners of this year's Dithpron Photo Award. Now, this is a very, very meaningful award for all of us in AAJA, all of us in the family. It is named, of course, for the late legendary New York Times photographer, our friend Dith. It is chosen by the photo affinity group co-leads Daryl Miho and Alex Wong. And this award is given to an up-and-coming photojournalist, which is somehow quite appropriate for the Dithpron Award. Now, of course, this has been an unusual, exceptional year, especially for people in the visual arts. And this competition took place during the 2020 AAJA Visibility Festival, hashtag AAJ20, and the entries were submitted via Instagram. The winning entries captured all these radical changes we've experienced, all the disruptions that this year has brought about. And it serves as a reminder that despite the isolation all of us feel, we are connected in our collective experience of this historic moment. We are pleased to announce the awardees for the 2020 Dithpron Photo Award. We begin with third place, which goes to a repeat winner, 2018 winner, Young Kim, for his photo this time of a pop-up drive-in theater. The second place award goes to Vritti Rashi Goel for her black and white photo, very evocative, of a mask hanging in a car. And the first place award to Ming-Shin Lin for his entry, which depicts two little kids wearing masks in a shopping cart at a Costco store in Taiwan. We congratulate all of these winners, and we look forward to seeing more from all of you in the future. Pablo, this is just so exceptional to see the kind of work that's been done this year.
Exactly, especially that last category. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but you know what? We've got hundreds, thousands of words, pictures, videos, everything that you could think of in these great categories. So we want to congratulate everybody as we look forward to seeing them all into the future. And congratulations again to this year's winners as this concludes the 2020 Journalism Excellence Awards. Hopefully now as we approach the holiday season, that wherever you are, if you're Zooming with anyone, that you get to be with loved ones or get to at least be with somebody and talk to people, be with your loved ones in this holiday season as we wrap things up here.
And congratulations to everyone and the great work that all of you have done. Let's see more of it in the new year. Now let's check in with Michelle.
Thank you to Joey and Pablo, and thank you again to the judges. As I mentioned earlier, if you want to take a deeper look at all of the award winners and get a really good look at all the photos and stories that we have celebrated, please go to awards.aaja.org. As you know, this year was full of firsts, pivots, and creating new routines. This year, AAJ took our convention virtually for the first time, and we were so thrilled to host our largest convention in at least 12 years. We knew that despite the pandemic, or maybe because of it, We needed to gather the AAJ community this year, not just for professional development, but also for healing and comfort. We wanted to make sure to continue our tradition of AAJ karaoke, which turned out to be just as lively as it is in person. Thank you to everyone who participated and made our 30th year of karaoke thrilling, including the legendary MC Frank B, who turned it into such a fun virtual event. In the spirit of karaoke, we have a special treat for you tonight. Our finalists got together this summer and wrote and sang a new song, which they titled Corona Life, Circle of Life Quarantine Remix. Take a listen.
From the day COVID was first reported,
constant breaking news still ain't done. There's more to be cleaned than had ever be cleaned.
More to do than could ever be done. Some miss meeting and greeting.
Some say it's the way that they live, but all are agreed, hope the world can succeed. Then this year we won't have to relive in the corona life.
it's a year of misfortune. Just keep the faith. Hold on to some hope. Give yourself some grace. Here's a song reminding in this COVID, the corona life.
Some of us take it all in stride.
Some just wanna drink at the bars.
And some of us stay in our bubbles. And some have to live with the scars. Let's all hold our loved ones dear.
We'll do more than we've ever done.
But we have to try. No
Our
infections
reactions
to hide.
A vaccine, hopefully we'll have begun.
In the corona life, it's a year of misfortune. Just keep the faith. Hold on to some hope. Give yourself some grace. Here's your song of reminding in this COVID, the corona
Okay, that was really amazing. And I was really happy to see Peach in that final shot. Nice guest appearance. So we're seeing a lot of you chat in the chat box, but just make sure that you chat all panelists and attendees so that everyone can see the great commentary happening. I really do hope that Tiwa found enough movement during that song. So you can see at the bottom of the chat function, just to click all panelists and attendees so that everyone can see. So next is Member Awards, which recognizes extraordinary leadership among our members and chapters. For this, I'd like to invite Nicole Dunca, AAJA's Senior Vice President and Investigative Reporter at the Washington Post, to congratulate our awards winners with me.
Thank you, Michelle. And in the spirit of congratulations, let's all celebrate Michelle being the new Tokyo Bureau Chief for the Washington Post. Everyone give her props in the chat. Welcome and hello to all the members of our AAJA family. We really can't thank you all enough for your work strengthening this organization and supporting your fellow journalists. AAJA is nothing without you guys, especially the leaders who've gone above and beyond during this unprecedented time. And I'm honored to help present this year's Member Awards.
Thanks, Nicole, and thank you to everyone. I'm really excited to head over there, and I can't wait to hang out with AAJA Asia members out there. So I'd like to start by recognizing the recipients of this year's President Award, which is given at the discretion of the AAJA Board President. It was last awarded in 2017 to the late Alex Tizon. This year, I'm proud to announce that the President's Award goes to each of our chapter leaders, chapter boards, and affinity group leaders for navigating, supporting, and fostering membership and community through 2020. Your outstanding leadership has been the glue of our organization this year. In the face of this most challenging year, you stepped up to create emergency funds for members affected by COVID-19 and layoffs. You pivoted swiftly to virtual programming to support journalists and to build camaraderie and check in with each other. And you brought our community together for the AAJA 20 virtual convention. You all represent the spirit of AAJA's founding values and have demonstrated the best of what it means to be AAJA family. I am grateful and humbled to serve with all of you, and thank you.
Thanks, Michelle, for recognizing the work of all our affinity groups and our chapters. It's well-deserved. Every year, we honor a chapter that stands out, and this year, the board is proud to award the Chapter of the Year Award to AAJA Los Angeles. When so many people were hit with economic uncertainty, health anxieties, and social isolation, the LA chapter scrambled to support members, community, and friends with financial assistance, exciting programming, and some good old fun. A few of their accomplishments this year include creating a COVID reporting relief fund, hosting a town hall on anti-Asian bias and COVID-19 featuring George Takei and Tai Ma, organizing a mentorship program, launching 3 new student chapters, and hosting their 26th Trivia Bowl virtually for the first time with more than 350 attendees. That's a lot of people. Congratulations and thank you for all that you do.
This year's Member of the Year is also from the LA chapter. The recipient is a first-time chapter board member and the chapter's Vice President of Community Engagement, who has been described as the glue holding our Los Angeles chapter true to our mission and as an incredible game changer. This year's Member of the Year is Hugh Gray. This filmmaker, director, producer, writer, poet, actress, and all-around creative has revitalized AAJA LA's social media and online presence with bold and eye-catching layouts. And she deepened AAJA LA's relationships with other community organizations, all while caregiving for her niece and father. Congratulations and thank you for your work.
Now for Chapter President of the Year. And surprise, we have 2. We are proud to present Chapter President of the Year to both Malika Kalingal and Willoughby Mariano, the leaders of AAJA Atlanta. With Willoughby at the helm in 2019, the Atlanta Convention was thoughtful in execution and detail, and the chapter was steadily rebuilding. When Willoughby relocated for the prestigious Neiman Fellowship, Malika took over without missing a beat. In the midst of a pandemic, Malika quickly pivoted the chapter to supporting young journalists with virtual panels for students all year. Thank you, Willoughby and Malika.
And now for the Leadership and Diversity Award, which is presented to an individual or corporation that has made strides in promoting and demonstrating diversity in the news media industry. We are so proud this year to recognize the Journalists of Color Slack admin team, including AAJA member CC Wei and Julia B. Chan, who is also incoming VP of Civic Engagement. They have cultivated and moderated a safe space for nearly 2,300 journalism professionals of color, and the community has become a lifeline for many during the pandemic. We are proud to recognize their dedication to creating and maintaining this community for journalists of color and for fostering candid conversations about race and inclusion in our newsrooms. Thank you to the Journalists of Color Slack founders, and congratulations.
Now we'd like to announce this year's ELP Outstanding Leadership Award recipient. This award is given to an ELP graduate who has demonstrated exemplary leadership, mentorship, community building, and has gone above and beyond to pay it forward. Both Michelle and I are ELP graduates. Shout out to class of 2017. So it's very meaningful for us to present the award this year.
And shout out to class of 2013 for me. Well, this is the first year we're awarding a posthumous ELP Outstanding Leadership Award. The award goes to Maria Mercator. Maria was a light of any room and a mentor to many. Throughout her life challenges, she had the fortitude to excel in a journalism career, the generosity of spirit to mentor so many journalists, and a bottomless heart and soul to befriend so many AAJA members. Multiple AAJA members, including ELP alumni and many members of the Sports Task Force, nominated Maria for this award. I want to quote from the nomination, quote, "Maria was lost to us early in the pandemic, but her outsized influence lives on through all the journalists she made time for, whether in a convention hallway, at a career fair, or on a visit to New York City. She embodied the spirit of ELP. As she climbed the ranks, she tore down the barriers behind her. She provided fellow journalists of color with the confidence to carve their own successful path, even when it seemed few others believed in us."
The judges were unanimous in deciding Maria should be honored. We are lucky to have known her, and we miss her dearly. May we all carry the spirit of Maria forward in our own lives.
Now I would like to invite Lloyd LaCuesta, a veteran journalist with 6 Emmys from the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. He's a former and the first elected president of AAJA and the 2004 recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award. Lloyd will now announce the recipient of the 2020 Lifetime Achievement Award.
Thank you, Michelle. The Asian American Journalists Association's Lifetime Achievement Award is one of the most prestigious awards a journalist can receive. It recognizes not just the excellent professionalism of the recipient, but also the service and contributions made to the Asian American Pacific Islander community. This year's awardee is highly qualified and deserving, and I have to say, it's been a long time coming. The 2020 AAJA Lifetime Achievement Award goes to retired veteran broadcast journalist Vic Lee. I'm especially honored to recognize Vic because he is a lifelong close friend who always kept me shaking my head and exclaiming, "How did he get that?" You see, Vic and I were competitors in different TV stations in the San Francisco Bay Area. I can tell you, whenever a Vic Lee story came on the air, invariably, people in newsrooms would be shouting, "How come we don't have that angle or that person?" Vic was just so diligent in getting the facts, and his sources were better than we could find. It's amazing when I first met Vic, 1967, on Fraternity Row at San Jose State. I came across a guy wearing Bermuda shorts and holding a beer in front of a fraternity house. He went on to become student body president, and we went on to parallel journalism careers. But while I got a degree from journalism school, Vic dropped out. But still, he got an internship at the New York Times and went to work for United Press International. He had no degree, but journalism and television were in his DNA. Vic was born in Shanghai and grew up in Tokyo. His father was a foreign correspondent and a TV commentator. His mother, a Chinese opera actor. He eventually made his way back to San Francisco working for KRON and KGO TV and became one of the most respected journalists in the Bay Area. He has so many awards, both local and national, including a George Polk Journalism Award, AAJA Awards, and Emmys galore. I believe the Vic Lee secret of success is one of basic journalistic integrity. He cultivates sources. He confirms and reconfirms information, and he seeks and reveals the truth. I can speak from personal experience that as a journalist working in the field alongside Vic Lee, it ups one's game. You're always aware that his report might have more information than yours. He did this night after night, and that's why we recognize him tonight. Vic also made it a point of doing stories about and affecting the Asian American community. As one of the few Asian American men on major market television every night, he felt a responsibility to the community. One of his Emmys was for a special report on the incarceration of Japanese Americans by the US government during World War II. 1 year after this eye-opening story, Congress granted reparations to Japanese Americans who were held in concentration camps. Vic did a story on the exploitation of Japanese tourists in San Francisco. It resulted in state and federal criminal investigations. And there was a documentary on the African famine in the 1980s. It won a New York Film Festival. But for those of us who know the real Vic Lee, it is the laughter, not the seriousness of the man we love the most. I will end with this story. When Vic and I were working on creating Unity Journals of Color, we shared a hotel room for a meeting in Washington, D.C. Vic was catching an early flight home, and I told him, "Don't wake me up." When I got up that morning, I found scrawled on the bathroom mirror in dry, hardened soap, "Oh, what a night. You were the best." I could almost hear him laughing on the airplane as I tried to clean it off before housekeeping arrived. No, Vic, you are the best. Ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of the 2020 Asian American Journalists Association Lifetime Achievement Award, Mr. Vic Lee.
Lloyd, I just want to tell you, man, you must be talking about another guy. At my age, I don't remember any of those things. I certainly don't remember the story about the hotel room.
Well, yeah, I know why, but Vic, but let me say that, you know, you are older than me, believe it or not. And so I've always looked up to you, and you've always been my role model. And maybe that's why I didn't do as well in my career also, but Vic, you're among the best, and we're glad to recognize you as, again, all of the achievements you've done during your lifetime.
On a serious note, Lloyd, you know, I really appreciate all those kind things you said about me. Every one of them is true. I just want to. But, you know, Lloyd, seriously, Lloyd, folks, also won a Lifetime Achievement Award and so many Emmys. It's hard to count them, but I just want to thank you for your being such a role model yourself for young Asian Americans going into this business. And I want you to know that I too really enjoyed watching you on TV as a kid. So Lloyd, thank you so much, honestly. Thank you for being here for me today. And congratulations to all of the award recipients tonight. Please enjoy the night. Please enjoy this moment, because this evening is for you. And AAJA, thank you for giving me this great honor. Being recognized by your peers is really one thing, but being recognized by brothers and sisters makes it even more precious. You know, I've been in this business, as Lloyd said, for a long time. I'm one of the OGs, as Lloyd is. You know, it's been 50 years. Well, maybe shy 1 year. I don't know, because I'm the only Asian who ever flunked math. That's why I went into journalism. I'm only kidding, folks. You know, it's funny without canned laughter, Lloyd. Can you laugh or clap or do something in the back? Okay. Anyway, being in this business for 50 years, it was the most unlikely career that I could have had. Just a little background about me, which Lloyd told you a lot about, but just to reiterate, born in Shanghai, raised in Tokyo, came to the US as a foreign student in 1964 during the turbulent 60s. Yes, being student body president brought me right in the midst of all of that turbulence. My dad was a foreign correspondent based in Tokyo for a Chinese wire service. My mom, as Lloyd pointed out, was an aspiring Chinese opera actress. So I guess my dad's journalism and my mom's stage presence was part of my DNA. You know, in other words, journalism was in my blood. You know, in my involvement in student government at San Jose State, I learned a lot about politics, activism, and that really, really helped me in my career as a reporter. In my senior year at San Jose State, I got an internship at the New York Times. And there are so many stories, actually, that I wanted to tell you tonight, a lot of backstories. But, you know, 50 years of backstories, it's impossible to tell in this limited time. So I chose one story that I wanted to share with you tonight because it's a story that sort of guided my career. And it was at the New York Times internship program. So the first day, you know, all the new interns arrived and we were standing in front of the city desk in the newsroom, all waiting for the legendary Abe Rosenthal. At the time, he was city editor. Later, of course, he became managing editor, but he was city editor, and you know, we were all waiting for him and his words of wisdom. So he comes and he tells us, and we're all lined up. He asks each one of us, he says, tell me about yourself. Tell me about your aspirations, where you come from, et cetera, et cetera. Now, you have to remember that I was the only minority, the only Asian intern. In fact, if I looked around that newsroom, I did not see a single Asian face. So I was the only Asian, only minority. I was the only one who was not a journalism major. So when it came to me, I told him, of course, about my Asian roots, my language abilities, and my parents, and how I came to this country as an immigrant. And he said to the group after we all finished, he said, you know, if I were to hire somebody today, the only one that I would hire would be this gentleman over here, Mr. Lee. And I was just like shocked, right? Because I'm sort of the accidental intern. I was majoring in political science pre-law. And the reason he said was that I was the only one of the group who would bring something of value to the paper, something unique to the table, a uniqueness that none of the other interns could bring that would enhance the paper's coverage. So he urged the others, when they went back to school, to maybe minor in something else other than journalism, to bring something to a newspaper or to a broadcast news organization, something different, to contribute something different other than the art of writing, which Abe Rosenthal said, we'll teach you here at the Times anyway if you get hired. So that's when I realized how valuable my ethnicity is, how important diversity is, how important language was, cultural experiences, how important that would be to a career in journalism, something that would essentially separate me from the others. so I could bring something unique to the table. I will never, ever forget what Abe Rosenthal said that day. And I want to share that with you. In 1969, I joined UPI. The Portland Bureau then was reassigned to headquarters, Western headquarters in LA. Exciting assignments there as a cub reporter, the Charlie Manson trial. President Nixon had a Western White House in San Clemente that was unbelievably, great for a young reporter. UPI taught me how to write under deadline, how to write under deadline pressures, essentially the nuts and bolts of reporting. And I thank them for that. In 1972, I went into broadcast, joined Cron TV, the NBC affiliate in San Francisco. And that decade of the 70s was unbelievable. San Francisco was a mecca for big stories, national, international stories, Patty Hearst kidnapping, assassinations of Mayor Moscone, Harvey Milk, disappearance of little children whose names and pictures appeared on milk cartons, the Zodiac serial killer, the People's Temple, all of these, Jonestown Mass, all of these things, all of these stories were going on. It was a wonderful ride. After 35 years at Cron, I joined KGO TV, the ABC owned and operated station, retired in January of this year. I've had some incredible assignments, really long run, many overseas trips to Asia, a month, as Lloyd pointed out, in Sudan, covering the civil war and the famine and drought. And it's happening again in Tigray province in the Sudan, terrible. And through it all, I've always been aware of the importance of diversity. It makes our country stronger, our country more competitive. And the same thing holds true for newsrooms. It simply makes for better reporting, better journalism. Thank you so much, AAJA, for this wonderful award. And I'm sorry, I must have gone over my time limit, but thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hello, everyone. That was such an honor to hear from both Lloyd and Vic. I'm Naomi Takuyan Underwood, AAJA's Executive Director. It remains an honor and a pleasure to work with you and serve you as AAJA's ED. Thank you for joining us for this year's award celebration. I just want to congratulate all our award winners, especially Vic, for the Lifetime Achievement Award that is so well deserved, and we're so honored to be able to present that to him in 2020. Thank you again to the leadership of our chapters, our affinity groups, and everyone who have come together in this difficult year to just be AAJA family. I want to quickly thank the staff and team behind AAJA in this year's program, Glenn Sugihara, Karen Sugihara, Jessica Shao, April Saruno, Daniel Garcia, Heather Aguilar, Sophia Koyama, Alice Nguyen, and Wesley Chen. And thank you so much to MC Frankie B and Shirley Chu for your guidance and support as we develop this program together. Before we sign off, I just wanted to share the moments that we had with Vic and Lloyd in our dry run last night, as they talked about their decades-long friendship and the work that they've done throughout the years. We just didn't want to do the dry run anymore. I think we all would have been happy just sort of sitting there and listening to their stories. They talked about covering important moments in history, and you heard Vic talk about all those pivotal moments in our history. But what was important to note was when they talked about the Korematsu case, the LA riots, or as Korean Americans know it, Sa-i-gu, the EDSA revolution that ousted Marcos in the Philippines. This is American history, this is world history. And as we look to AAJA's 40-year anniversary, we look to this past, the example and inspiration of trailblazers like Vic and Lloyd, Lori and Ken, as well as to the present and future trailblazing by AAJA members now and those to come. Let's do this together. We want to ensure that AAJA's 40-year anniversary is celebrated and known to a wider audience and future generations of AAPI journalists, and that AAPI journalists like you continue to be recognized, empowered, and uplifted. Please join us in this next year and beyond. I know times have been difficult, but please take a moment to renew your membership, recruit a new member, and also to donate at aaja.org/donate. We're looking forward to working together and continuing to grow our AAJA family in 2021. From the AAJA staff and board to you, your loved ones, and your wider family, stay safe and well and happy holidays, AAJA fam. Good night.